Hi, welcome back to my channel, or a very warm welcome if you're new here. My name is Sophie, and in today's video I have another book subscription box unboxing for you. So I'm going to be unboxing everything that came to me in March. So I have the usual locked library, I've got the FairyLoot adult book only, I have the FairyLoot YA box with the book and the items, and then I also have the Illumicrate box with the book and the items. And then last month, you may remember, I didn't receive the Starbright book in time to unbox it for you. So I do have Starbright as well to unbox. And that's the Illumicrate Sci-Fi Quarterly book box. So I'm going to start with the locked library, and this is their standard fantasy monthly box. So let's see what we have in here. So here once again, wrapped in a lovely tissue. Oh, so this is Daughter of Crows by Mark Lawrence, and the Locked Library actually did another book by Mark Lawrence early on in the subscription, and I can't remember the title of the book, but it was book one in, I think it's called the Library Trilogy, and that was a stunning edition. It had books down sprayed edges, and yeah, it was beautiful. I have yet to read it, but I've heard really good things, and yeah, so it's interesting to see another book by Mark Lawrence in this box. And this one is a stunning cover. I love this. I love the sun detail here, and I think the artwork is really beautiful. And then we have some kind of stairway sprayed edges in colours to match the cover. And then, yeah, let's have a look. Oh, we've got some nice artwork inside. So we have a printed hardcover with feather detail. I think that's beautiful. So it says, set a thief to catch a thief, set a monster to punish monsters. And yeah, as usual, it has the key detail on the spine. And then artwork kind of matches the vibe of the cover, which is beautiful. And then it's different in the back. So yeah, I have seen this book around, but I don't know anything about it, so I'll read the synopsis. So it says, the Academy of Kindness exists to create agents of retribution, cast in the image of the Furies, the kindly ones, against whom even the gods hesitate to stand. Each year, 100 girls are sold to the Academy. 10 years later, only 3 emerge. The Academy's halls run with blood. The few who survive its decade-long nightmare have been forged on the sands of the Wound Garden. They have learned ancient secrets amid the necrotic fumes of the Bone Garden. They leave its gates as avatars of vengeance, bound to uphold the oldest of laws. Only the most desperate would sell their child to the kindness, but Rue, she sold herself. And now, a lifetime later, a long and bloody lifetime later, just as she has discovered peace, war has been brought to an old woman's doorstep. That was a mistake. So that one just sounds amazing. I'm really excited to read this. Yeah, it sounds like it's got kind of influence from maybe mythology, so gods, and also it feels a little bit dystopic. So yeah, it really seems like something that I will really enjoy reading. So that one sounds really exciting. And actually, I think this is the most excited I've been about a locked library book for a while. So we'll see how this one goes. So next up, I will do the FairyLoot boxes. So I will start with the adult book only. And the theme of the month here is As the Stars Foretold. And let's see what book we've got. So this is a very pretty purpley blue edition. So yeah, my favourite kind of colour scheme. But I think FairyLoot have done a lot in this kind of colour palette recently. So the book is The Last Starborn Seer by Venetia, Constantine. And yeah, I have heard of this book. I have seen it in the alternative cover around quite a lot and was very interested to see what it was about. I think this is very reminiscent of kind of Frozen. It's giving me, yeah, a bit of Elsa vibes. But yeah, I don't know what this book is about, but yeah. It is quite a beautiful edition. And these sprayed edges, I think they're just like stars, kind of celestial. And then all this is a very beautiful naked hardcover. Once again, we've got the lovely naked hardcovers, and it's quite simple, but I think, yeah, I really like that, and I love the colour palette. And then we do have some really beautiful artwork, so yeah, very kind of Frozen, Snow Queen vibes from this. And then on the back as well. So yeah, while I've seen this book around, I'm not sure what it's about, so I'll read the synopsis. Leilani Stellarion is cursed. The last of a ruined bloodline, she's shunned for her volatile Starborn magic, which grants her prophetic visions, but is slowly corrupting her mind. Branded a pariah, Leilani is blamed for the sickening, a wasting curse that fractured the realms of Arcadia and plunged them into war. When her dying mother's health deteriorates and a forced marriage threatens her future, Leilani seizes the chance to reclaim her fate. A prophecy speaks of an ancient relic that could end the sickening, and she's determined to find it. To receive the scepter, she must survive the deadly climb to the Astral Mountain, forge alliances with enemies, outwit rebel forces, and navigate her own treacherous feelings for a rival envoy, which grow under the watchful eye of her betrothed. Hunted by a vengeful spectre and haunted by her magic, Leilani must decide what she's willing to sacrifice in the name of redemption before her powers consume her. So yeah, that again does sound really interesting and a book that I can potentially really love. So I didn't show you the reverse dust jacket, which does have, I think this is the original cover, but in a slightly different colour. So I will put the original cover on screen for you so you can compare the two. But yeah, this does sound really exciting as well, and I think I will probably really enjoy this. And it does seem to be quite an interesting fantasy world, and I'm intrigued by this sickening curse and how she's going to overcome this. And yeah, it does sound really interesting. So I will do the other FairyLoot box next. So this is the YA book with the items, and this arrived with a massive slip down the back of the box. So hopefully nothing got harmed. But yeah, let's see what we've got in here. Ooh, we have a dragon on the spoiler card. So the theme of the month is Dangerous Devotion. So already that looks quite interesting. I do like dragon fantasy. So let's see. So the first item in this box are Caraval foiled bookmarks. So bookmarks inspired by the series of Caraval, which I have actually read and did enjoy. So I think this looks like it's got like the main characters on each bookmark. And yeah, I can't remember the characters' names. But yeah, I like the gold foiling on these. Again, I don't really need any more bookmarks, but yeah, these are gorgeous. And also I like this detail on the back as well. And then next, this, I think this must be a book sleeve or a Kindle sleeve, but it looks like it is inspired by The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. And this is beautiful, I love this. And yeah, I like the colour scheme as well, and it's just kind of soft satin inside. And I think this is an e-reader sleeve, and yeah, it is inspired by The Night and the Moth. Yeah, I just think that is beautiful. I don't really use an e-reader. I do have a Kindle, but yeah, I prefer physical books, but I'm sure I can find some other use for that as well. And then this looks like another embroidery kit, so for Heir of Storms, which is one of their past monthly books, which I haven't read. But yeah, you get given the frame and then all of the bits that you need, so the fabric, yeah, and the threads. and the pattern is printed. I don't know which way that goes up. The pattern is printed on fabric, and there should be a kind of key and pattern in here. Yeah, so it should look like that. And I've had quite a few of these from FairyLoot, but I haven't made the time to get to them. So yeah, I need to try and do that at some point. So the next item is an Immortal Consequences pad. So monthly memo pads inspired by Immortal Consequences, which I haven't read either. But this is pretty. I like this, so just a monthly planner. These would be great if I actually did use them, but yeah, sadly I never seem to use any of them. But it might come in handy for something. So the next item is the overlays for the book of the month, but I'll show you them once we see what the book is. And as usual, I've forgotten to do the tarot cards. I keep forgetting they're at the bottom. So yeah, these are inspired by the book of the month. So we have the moon and the sun. So here is the book of the month. Let's find out what it is. So it's called Her Hidden Fire, and it's by Cliodhna O'Sullivan. And yeah, I haven't actually heard of this one at all. So it says on the back, her magic, his love, the world won't let her have both. So yeah, I do quite like this colour scheme. Don't get a lot of kind of greens and browns, so yeah, it's nice, quite natural elements. And yeah, it looks like it's very much going to be a dragon fantasy, so I'm excited about that. So yeah, dragon on the cover. This does feel a little bit basic, but yeah, the sprayed edges are really detailed. But yeah, and then on the reverse dust jacket, I'm assuming that this is the original cover. But yeah, again, I will put the original one so you can see. But yeah, I do like this colour scheme. I like the green. But let's find out what this book is about, because I don't know. But first, I'll actually show you the art inside. So yeah, dragon fantasy. Yeah, I'm already interested in this based on what I've seen in the customizations, so let's have a look. Welcome to Domain, a world where dragons soar the skies and elite families wield magical powers. The ruling family of Elm's Keep is on a knife edge. Heir apparent Aicha must show that he can channel magic, or they will be cast out and replaced. Then Ada, a servant girl who loves Aicha, discovers that she can draw power herself. This puts her in grave danger. It's extremely rare for a girl to have this talent, especially outside the great families. At Aicha's moment of truth, Ada makes a desperate gamble. A trick to save him, Elm's Keep and herself, but how long can this ruse last? Sent to the very heart of the Master's control, Ada and Aicha enter a whirlwind of patriarchy, class, heartache and jealousy. Here they learn about power's terrible human cost, a price others willingly pay to maintain theirs. How far would you go to empower the one that you love? So I have to say I'm not really so interested in the synopsis as I am in kind of the vibe of the book. So yeah, I'll have to see how I get on with that one. But yeah, let's have a look at the overlays. Okay, so maybe a little bit more interested. I think it's going to really depend on kind of how much dragons feature in this book. So yeah, I'll have to see. I don't think I'm going to have an immediate urge to pick this one up like the other two, but yeah, I will try it at some point. So let's move on to the Starbright box, which I was meant to show you last month, but yeah, it came a couple of days after I'd filmed that video. So here is the quarterly Starbright box. So this is from Illumicrate, and this has a sci-fi book. So let's have a look. So this one looks like quite a slim book, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because I do find a lot of the subscriptions have really long epic fantasy books. So maybe a shorter length book might encourage me to pick it up more. But let's have a look at what we've got. So the book is Jitterbug by Gareth Powell. So quite a basic cover, quite basic artwork. But yeah, it tells me that this is probably going to be quite technical sci-fi. But yeah, I really like this, just simple feathers on the sprayed edges. And the naked hardcover looks like it's kind of images like intergalactical messaging about various things in space. So bounty, war, alien life, which is quite interesting. But yeah, this feels quite plain actually, customizations. And then the artwork, which I think does tell me it's going to be kind of more spaceship sci-fi. But yeah, let's read what it's about. On Earth, they depicted justice as blindfolded and impartial, but out here on the frontier, she was red in tooth and claw. Jupiter and Saturn are gone, and a mysterious force has built a huge habitable sphere from their ashes. When criminals try to lose themselves on this new frontier, bounty hunters like Copernicus Brown and the crew of his sentient ship Jitterbug get paid to hunt them down. But when Brown rescues Amber Roth, sole survivor of a pirate attack, the Jitterbug and her crew find themselves the target of powerful political factions who want control of the data chip hidden in Roth's stomach. And all the while, something vast and ancient creeps towards them from the depths of space. So the synopsis doesn't sound like something I would typically read, and it does feel a little bit strange to have such a small book. So let's see how many pages it is. So it is just under 300 pages, so that seems quite short for a sci-fi book. But yeah, I'm willing to give it a go, and also sometimes I do prefer a shorter book. But yeah, it's interesting, and I will try it out. And then I have the final box for you, and this is the Illumicrate Fantasy monthly box with the book and the items. So I always look forward to the Illumicrate box. I do love seeing what items they have. So the theme of the month is Where My Demons Hide. And let's have a look. Oh, we've got another book pot. I love the book pot. So this is a Demonology Book Pot. So let's get this open and have a look. So yeah, I think I've got about probably 6 or 7, maybe more of these book pots so far. I don't have them all though, which is a shame, but yeah, I have quite a lot of them. And oh, I like this one, History of Demonology. And it says, a practical guide to the study of demons and dark creatures throughout the ages. And yeah, I do love these. So they look like a book, but they are a pot, so you can put things in. And yeah, I always love to get these, and I have them kind of stacked up in a row. And then it looks like another desk mat, Leaf House, based on Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. I'm not sure I really need any more of these. I have probably 4 or 5 of these now. But this one looks like it's in my favourite colour scheme. So yeah, this one. That one looks stunning. And then some more bookends. So again, I have a lot of bookends and I don't really use them all, but these are Infernal City bookends inspired by Katabasis by R.F. Kuang, which I have yet to read. But yeah, these are always very like sturdy metal bookends with some little feet on the bottom. So yeah, maybe I can use them somewhere on the bookshelf. I don't know, but I do, yeah, have probably 10 or more sets of these now. So it's probably time to get them out on the shelf. And then the book of the month. and this is Aicha by Soraya Bouazzaoui, and I like this colour scheme. I think this is beautiful with the red and the gold, and I'm assuming that this is Aicha, so she looks like a really fierce character, and then some more characters on the back. So I actually really like this, and I love this little detailing around the cover, like the border. And yeah, the sprayed edges are red, very desert-like. And then the hardcover, oh wow, it looks like Aicha might also be kind of part changeling, and yeah, here she is holding a head. So yeah, she looks very fierce, and then a puff of smoke on the back. And I think the art on the inside is not as good as on the cover. Feels a bit more cartoony. So let's read the synopsis. So, temptress monster warrior. The Portuguese flag has been planted across Morocco, its empire ruling with an iron fist, but eventually all empires must fall. Aicha, the daughter of Moroccan freedom fighter, was born for battle. She has witnessed the death of her people, their starvation and torture at the hands of the occupiers, and it has awakened an anger within her, an anger that burns hot and bright and speaks to Aicha's soul. Only Aicha's secret lover, Rashid, a rebellion leader, known how to soothe her. But as the fight for Morocco's freedom reaches its violent climax, the creature that simmers beneath Aicha's skin begs to be unleashed. It hungers for the screams of those who have caused her pain, and it will not be ignored. Aicha tells the tale of Morocco's warrior goddess, her strange magic, vicious rebellion, and devastating romance. This is a story of female rage and lesser-known myths that will sear you to the bone. So yeah, I think I'm going to love this one. It sounds perfect for me. So I'm loving mythology and folklore at the moment, and I do love a good story about female rage. And yeah, so I like the fact that it's going to focus on lesser-known myths. I'm always interested to hear more about different myths from around the world. So yeah, that does sound really interesting. So that is all of the books that came in the subscription boxes in March. So I think in terms of the items, I think my favourite is going to have to be the book pot. Yeah, I love these so much. And in terms of the books, they did feel quite diverse this month. So I will hold up the stack. So here, and then look at those sprayed edges. But customization wise, I think it hasn't been the best month for customizations. But I think I'm probably going to say I actually like this one the most. So Aicha. Sprayed edges, I think, were not so great this month. But yeah, I think this one here has probably the nicest sprayed edges. So her Hidden Fire. And I think in terms of the books that I'm most excited to read, I think, although I do love mythology and I think Aicha sounds great, I think probably Daughter of Crows seems like the most appealing book for me right now. So yeah, I'm really interested to read this one. So do let me know in the comments if any of these books are on your radar, if you are particularly interested to read any of them. Also, let me know what your favourite customization was, and also what your favourite item is. If you want to see more of my unboxings, I will link the full playlist for you so you can catch up on them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.